Have you ever noticed that when you try to look cool in front of others, you may end up screwing over your own family in the process? Well, that's what Lincoln and Clyde found out in the episode I'm going to talk about today. So join me as I, SteamTeamRedubUK, CC Trainor-Ling, bring you another retro review from past seasons of The Loud House. Cue the intro! Today's episode is Hand-Me-Downer. In this episode, Lincoln gets a girly pink bike as a hand-me-down from Lori, but in order to impress some kids, he uses Lynn's cooler looking bike, which ends up getting stolen. This episode I found to be very relatable because I used to get a lot of hand-me-downs from my brother when I was a kid, and I had to make the most of them since they had a rich family history, and it was honestly cheaper than just outright buying something new when the old stuff wasn't even broken. That's part of the overall message this episode teaches, which includes taking something that brought happiness to one member of the family and then having another family member try to find value in using that very same thing. Still, I can understand why Lincoln didn't want to ride that girly bike and wanted to use the one Lynn was riding, which was later revealed to be a hand-me-down from Lenny. He's a boy trying to impress other boys, so him riding a more masculine bike was a way of making him look cool, and the results of doing so spoke for themselves. And of course, as predicted, him riding a pink bike with a basket would result in him being made fun of, so at least the episode accurately demonstrated the concept of the old-time social stigma of what happens when a boy is seen using girly stuff. One of my biggest complaints to the episode is the unresolved issue of who stole Lynn's bike and how and where Clyde's parents found it. That really irks me because that was a huge part of the story, and considering Lynn was going to use that bike for an upcoming competition and was forced to use Lincoln's pink bike after her brother tried to fix everything before he had to admit it was his fault her bike went missing in the first place. Still, everything worked out in the end for Lynn because she not only won the competition, she was also made the new leader of that bike gang Lincoln was trying to impress. As a side note, this episode marks the debut of Rusty Spokes. And yes, that turned out to be his real name and not just a bike-inspired nickname like Papa Wheelie and Chain Link. Kind of a weird thing in hindsight moving forward, but it is what it is. Overall, this episode is really not too bad, but not exactly great either. It had a good message about the significance of hand-me-downs, and it had some nice family moments during the second half of the story. There were the flashbacks exploring the history of Lenny's bike and how her sisters made their best use of it when it was passed down to them. And my all-time favorite moment was after Lynn decided to trade bikes with Lincoln and the latter handing down what was effectively his new and cooler looking bike to Lana. Now that was a downright adorable big brother little sister moment. Between those moments and questioning the sentience of Luann's old ventriloquist dummy Colonel Crackers, you certainly can't go wrong with this one. With that said, I give Hand-Me-Downer a 7 out of 10. Well folks, that concludes my review of Hand-Me-Downer. So I gotta ask, what did you guys think of this episode? Sound off in the comments below, and be sure to click that subscribe button for more Loud House related content. That's going to do it for me. I'll catch you guys for the next video, but until then, this is SteamTeamRedubUK, CC Trainor-Ling, signing off. Peace out, home slices.